I have to, you know, do my usual. Let's do a little. That should work. I am working with a new tripod today. Tested it out on my patrons, so we'll test it out on you guys and see how it does. I'm a little bit earlier than my usual early, but I thought, why not? There we go. Wake up, Musketeer. Okay, don't forget to click on top chat above the chat, and a drop-down menu will come up if your mouse wants to work. And make sure you're on live chat, because otherwise YouTube only shows you what they feel like showing you. Good evening, Giovanna. Good morning, afternoon, Becky. How is everyone doing? Oh, look, I'm going to like my own live stream. Probably illegal, but, you know, it's okay. It's only one like. It's not like I'm doing anything crazy. While I am waiting, since we're doing an actual kit, and I don't know how long it's going to take, I thought I would just go ahead and work on pressing my fabrics. Isn't this the cutest fabric? Look at that. It's adorable. I think these are all okay. This is fun. Jacob B. Boomy Bew. I don't know what that says. We have some kitty cats. Most of the time, the larger scraps stay nice and unwrinkled, especially if I just stick them in the container just like this. It's usually not a problem. I have my smaller ones with my 2.5-inch strips and my little bitty squares and chunks. And then I have my my big container in my chair. These are the scraps that I'm going through though, so I thought I would just use the empty one to refill them so I'm not dumping them all out on a live stream day when I'll have to clean it up real quick. Did everyone have a nice Halloween? I did not turn on the light here or anything like that. I also didn't see anyone else with their light on or any trick-or-treaters. People were talking in the Facebook groups that they basically go to a specific area of town where it's like a community and they all go there where there's, you know, dozens and dozens of houses. That's wild and crazy. Some of these that you guys sent me, I just stuck them in here and I didn't really even take them apart and look at them. The feathers are really nice. Hi, Jody. Jody, you're early. Oh my goodness. It's best day ever, right, Jody? Jody has made it on time. So for anyone who's worrying, Jody has thick skin and she does not mind being teased like that because she knows I'm not being mean. And she also knows it's true. I also plugged my little iron in to a plug in the wall that used to have a tabletop fan. So now I don't have to complain about the cord from the iron, though I have a feeling I might complain a little because it's too short now. But it's okay. I have my little bucket. I'm adding not even scraps. There's some big pieces of fabric in here that I just don't think I'll use. You guys, when you send me stuff, you're like, go ahead, use it, put it in the shop, give it away, sell it, do whatever. So I've been putting the bits in here that I really don't think I'll make for projects or for the shop. My quilt guild said today is International Scrap Sorting Day. Really? Well, then I am right on schedule for once. I mean, my scraps are pretty well sorted. I'm more of a, okay, I need to go through, because I didn't even bring out the bin this size that's jam-packed full of little bits. I definitely need to sort through that. But for this, I'm just, you know, pressing them and making them nice and neat. You need more than a day. Oh, yeah. Plus, I get burnt out. I don't want to sit there. You know what? These scissors are, Missouri Star has them, and they're really great. but I have a feeling I cut other things with it like batting or something because it's not feeling very sharp. So I'm going to go over to the cabinet behind all of us and get something sharper. Alrighty. Bring out the bad boys. I got the big old Kais here. I just try not to bring them out too much because I don't want to bury them and I don't want to bump into them or anything like that. Hi, Rose. Here for a minute. We'll catch you on the replay. You know what? Like this one right here, I know I have a bunch of this and I don't use it that often, so I'm going to just go ahead and put that. Hold on. Excuse me. My trash can is too far away. I have to reach in front of you all the time. I was apologizing to you before I even turned the camera on earlier. Like this one is fun and all, but this one doesn't really fit into what I make and stuff. And I don't mind using things that aren't part of my style, but I think this one is just a little too far off my style. And it won't match. Like, it's hard to take things that aren't part of what you normally have and match it with other things. So I'm going to put that over there too. I am waiting today because we're doing the Snowman Mug Rug, and I don't want to start without everybody else. So I want to wait till after 11 o'clock. I do have a little bit of a warning today. My daughter helped me out, so if this doesn't work out, then we're going to totally blame her. But you know, YouTube has been giving me a lot of, excuse me, ads when I'm watching the live stream and stuff. So what I decided that to have the ads, I'm putting them on at a specific time. So every 30 minutes is, I think, the one I set, 28 minutes, 30 minutes, an ad's going to pop up. But I think I set it so we all get ads at a different time, so it's not all at the same time. So just be prepared. There will be some ads coming up as usual. But, you know, we gotta have to do what we have to do. So this one doesn't fit totally in my style if this was a whole piece of fabric, but the colors and the shades and stuff will work, especially for like scrappy things. So I'll put that into my bucket. And this one's just fun. The Red Hat Society. It's almost a fat quarter. But this could be fun for, you never know, like maybe put a hat on a snowman. That could be fun, or on some paper dolls or something, or just let kids play with it. But I'm going to put this one back in. I'm going to trim off the last bit of selvage there. And I think it has enough hat on it that I will save that. But we'll wait till a little bit after 11, because I don't know how you guys, if you've noticed it, but when I ask YouTube to notify me when, because I had the live stream up, I try to put it up Fridays in the afternoon or evening if I remember. Sometimes I don't remember till the next morning, but I click notify me when the live stream goes live, and sometimes YouTube doesn't notify you until the live stream's been live for 5 minutes. So it is a big scrap. It's not a fat quarter, so I've decided that anything that's not a fat quarter is going to go into my bins. I had to make a decision. I've waffled back and forth many times, but these bins have a lot of space in them, so that's what I'm going to do. Now this one, I don't want to put that on my sewing machine. This one is definitely, look how big it is. But this isn't going to work, and the gold flecks, I just can't use it. I don't do well with a lot of those. Now, depending on the angle of the way it is, it's not too bad. But I'm going to let someone else have fun with it. I have enough scraps that I don't have to keep every little bit. Hi, Terry. I love the waving hands. And I had to decide, do I put all strips in there? Or what if it's a 3-inch strip? Is that big? Because I'm just eyeballing saying 2.5, because there's a lot of jelly roll bits. But if it's I had these other ones that were wider, so I had to make a decision, and I'm like, nope, they have to go into the bin because they're a little bit wider. In the description box, I did a little tag where you can go at the whole country caboodle. I keep wanting to say Kit and Caboodle, obviously, but that one's a scrapbooking YouTube page. But I went ahead and I basically tagged them in the description box. So if you want to go and check out their YouTube channel, You can also Google them or follow their links to their shop because they have a lot of fun. I think this is the one that I did, the Halloween Witch mini quilt wall hanging that Missouri Star had the pre-cut out fusible bits. Hi Sue, happy Saturday. So they do have a lot of fun things. So if you're looking for some type of a kit or something, it's a really great place to check out. So I put that piece in there, but this one's about the same width, but it's longer. So I'm going to put this in my big container. Now it doesn't have to make sense to you guys. It only has to make sense to the person using it. And see, it fits in there perfectly. These containers are really nice. It's made, I still have to finish working on the bookcase, but it's made things a lot easier. Now this is fun. So if I'm doing a pink or a pink and purple project, I'll go ahead and use this. I do have it in the purple bin because there's more purple than pink. Let me see if I need to trim any of it off on this side. No, that's not too bad. I won't trim. I can trim this bit off just to kind of make it even. I'll put that in there for someone to crumb with. I think this will have to go like this to fit in the bin. Yes, ma'am. So we're going to wait till 11:05 and then I'll pull out the kit and we'll start working on that. We're going to finish it start to finish today, no problem. So for anyone joining us, we're not actually doing fabric today. We're doing a kit. It's empty though. Now the kits are great because the last time I made one, I think I just had a couple of little strips left over, and that's because I didn't follow the same directions. I think this one will go over there. Now if it was this side, I don't use it that much, but because it has some dark accents, that might be nice to work on with a scrappy project. Y'all gonna fit? Oh yeah, beautiful. So I did make a dent in this at least. It's not a big dent, but I have made a dent. I have been pulling all of these out. I haven't used them. I touched them and I put them back in, so I'm not even going to keep this. Maybe it might work for a fabric postcard or something, but kind of reminds me of a volcano with the lava during like sunrise or something like that. Well, Rose, apparently today is the sort your scrap day. I keep looking, I still have a box. Now this one has some sparkles on it. I do have a couple of the pieces in there, so this is going to be one of the ones that I will put in my bin, and if I don't use it and I keep touching it and putting it back, then it'll end up going into the scrap bin. As in, eventually I will just mix these all up and put them in the shop. Excuse me. Ooh, this one has a really pretty border selvage. There we go. Nice geometric print. So this is one of those things that it's long enough. So I decided that these, because if I'm going to look for something that's 2.5, 3 inches by a long length, I'll check there. But I know the way I operate that I'll also check in my big scrap bin. So I could put that in there, but maybe you guys don't think the same way. You know, you have to do it whatever works for you. We think other people are going to comment on it and tell us things, but really if we don't tell them, they'll never know. If you don't show us, we won't know how you have your scrap room set up. Or not set up. Ready to sit down for a bit. I packed 6 craft boxes for donation. Wow, you're cleaning up really good. I'm keeping Jody company while she finds all the projects you'd like to finish for gifts. Hey, that's a great idea, Jody. Pull out the ones that you started, and that'll make it a lot quicker to finish them up, and they'll get them out of your space. It can be hard, Rose. It can. It took me years. And if you don't I was thinking today, did I clean my sewing machine? No. Did I change my needle? Yes. See, I'm not going to work with this one either. I'm going to put that over there. I changed my needle recently before or after we did the tutorial with the quilted extra large hot pad. But I also cleaned my machine, but I haven't sewn on it since Tuesday. So if you don't work in your stash regularly, it's kind of hard. At least for me, it's hard to figure out how I want it to be. Plus you moved. That makes it hard too. I think I'll put this one over here. So I have this sparkle, but I love that color purple. So I will put this here, but I've learned that I need to iron it from the back side. And if you really haven't used it much, Jackie, you may as well, you know. I got rid of a lot of stuff. I had people driving by my house regularly when I moved from my house to the kids' house because I just put stuff out. I didn't even have the energy to go ahead. Giovanna, they're passing what? People in Spain. You hear a lot about Spain and, you know, different issues. I still haven't picked up a news channel or anything to figure out what's going on in the world. Right now, all I know is it's definitely election time because they won't leave me alone. Because our phones are still in the area code for Florida, I get messages from them for voting, and I get messages here. Oh, flooding again. I was wondering if it was flooding again since they flood a lot. Might have to put water in at this rate. All right, I'm just going to finish this little pile and then we'll go ahead and get started on our project. So I have a new needle. I know my machine is relatively clean because I gave it a really good deep cleaning earlier. And I have it threaded with just some white thread. I think white thread will be fine with the colors that we have. I could always change it. I mean, you know, the thread's just right here next to me. So I'm still going through and just doing things like that. I love this one with the African violet flowers there popping up. That's one of my favorites. And I also like this one with all the bird houses on it. So once this is finished, which it won't be today, I'll have finished purple, orange, pink, and either I did yellow or yellow just looks really good because I don't have a lot of yellow fabrics. Most of my bins aren't very full, so that's great. Most of my bins are about this full because I rotate through so much orange fabric. And what else is over there that's low? Orange and pink, I use those a lot. The yellow I use a lot. This is a really great way to see what fabrics I go through. That's so scary. And you know, since they were flooded not that long ago, that people probably got their houses and everything back situated only to be flooded again. It's really sad. Unfortunately, I think we could name several countries and it'll still be, you know, there's something going on somewhere. This is where I struggle when it comes to pinks and purples and stuff. So I tend to just put it in, and if I look at it and I'm like, oh, well, that looks awfully pinky, I'll take it to my pink scraps, and if it looks really purple on top of my pink scraps, I just bring it back. And I kind of know that, hey, you know, I have a little bit of a mixture, so I know what I do, and I go ahead and make sure I check more than one bin if I'm looking for something. The weather's been crazy everywhere. I've been seeing a lot of snow. I have a feeling that, I don't know how it goes, but if they're getting snow this early, does that mean you know, there's a chance for a rough winter, or is it just normal for all these places to have snow already? This is a fun one. And I like this one too. And that one. Okay, this one is definitely a little guy. I think these will stay. They're a little big, so we'll put them over here. They can get downgraded later. This one has all the ribbons on it for, at least they look like the ribbons for like breast cancer, or I don't know if purple is pancreas maybe. Sometimes they double up and they have more than one thing they do. And then here's a grunge. I love the grunges and all the colors. The grunges sometimes can be a little, they have that thing. It's not quite rubbery, but it's almost. We're late to have our first snow. Oh, you are late. Because I think I saw, of course, Alaska. They always have snow for, well, I shouldn't say always, but it's not unusual for them to have snow for Halloween and prior to it. Minnesota, I saw, had some snow. At least I think it was Minnesota. Okay, let me clear out my purples. So here's my progress. I've pressed these. I've pressed these. And this one was overflowing, so I managed to get this whole side and some on the top. Here's another really fun one. And this one's from fabric.com in their whatever blender fabrics, and they, since fabric.com is not around anymore, that's kind of sad. I really liked their fabrics. All right, where do you guys want to hang out? You want to hang out over here? I think that's a good spot for you. I've been saving little bits in a different container for fabric postcards, but they sure add up quickly. Okay, I put my little wrist cuff on. Tuck my scissors away. We need to hydrate. I have my table on just because I find it much easier. It does take up a little bit of the space, but we're fine. We have plenty of area still. Okay. Let's pull some of my leash back. I only did a quick glance at the directions because, you know me, I don't really like reading directions. So let's see. Put you over there so you're not in the way. So this is what we have. We have some heat and bond type material, but I think this is, it feels more like maybe it's a steam-a-seam. We have the batting for the entire project, and then this batting, I think this might be for his nose, or maybe it's for the pocket or something. We'll see what that's for. Here's his nose. Got this. Since we're using a kit, it's going to tell us exactly what to do with what pieces, so I thought maybe we would go ahead and pull them out. Now, the reason I read the directions, and now I remember why we changed it up last time, or I did, is because they want you to fold the fabrics in half. So that's a seam up there. And I don't know, I don't bother doing that. So we might have enough in here to make two. I'll just have to bring in more batting and backing fabric. Let me catch up on comments. Oh, the dragonflies, right? I love those dragonflies. Canada, of course. Yeah, Canada. If they're close to Canada, too. Mountains are getting snow. The mountains here in Arizona have snow. It was 45 this morning at 7 a.m. We're supposed to be up to, I think the high is 73, and it was 60 something about an hour ago, 62, 65. Yeah, and also if you don't get the cold and snow, then you also will be, in a drought situation going into spring and summer. All right, Rose, we'll see you later. I hope you find something good in the mail. I received my package from my friend for our Advent swap. So that's really fun. That came the other day. I'm just waiting until this week to go ahead and do like the videos and stuff like that. Because I like to be, you have to have a certain kind of energy to do those videos and all. Plus then I have to go through and thank you guys so much. I know I'm in Advent still, so I'm not rambling too much. But the last Advent box sold. I'm so excited to see what everyone thinks about them. I'm almost, you guys can twist my arm because I'm easy. I'm a people pleaser. But I'm almost thinking that I'm not going to do that kind of Advent next year. I want to have Advents that are $50 or less, so it won't be like the whole 25 days. It'll be smaller bits and pieces like the mystery box and stuff like that. I feel like that's more exciting and more people can get involved that way because it's a little bit better and easier on the budget. The whole thing that my friend and we were doing these is because we didn't want to spend $200 on an Advent. And then I go ahead and create a $200 Advent. So I was not very happy with that situation. All right, I'm going to need a pen or something for that. So let me find one that I don't mind getting on the back of my hand because the ink always smears. I have a nice green one because we're doing green. Fireside coffee, great for a cozy drink by the fire during a winterside snow. Oh, it's a coffee recipe. Hold on. You guys can do a screenshot of that. It's a hot cocoa coffee. Combine the ingredients, mix well, and store in a sealed Ziploc bag or like a mason jar. 1 tablespoon with a cup of boiling water. Keep out the instant coffee and put in some mini chocolate and stuff. I love those homemade hot cocoa recipes. I saved something here on YouTube. There's a lady that does vegan things, and she has, what she does, like, she says, here's a hot cocoa mix for you to make. Here's a vegan version. So she has something that I can make it, and I can also make like coffee creamer and stuff. So I have that all saved if I can find it again. I lost my thingy, fell out of my pocket. All right, 12 days of Christmas, if I have something that has, I was thinking I would do the mystery box where you can just purchase a mystery box because it won't always be Christmas time. And then at Christmas time, I'll put in the option that for a couple dollars extra, I'll wrap all of the items in the box for you. And if it has 6 items, you can always buy 2. If it has 4 items, then you can decide how many you want. And then that will stay. It'll be your decision based on your budget and based on how many items you want. All right. That way it's out of my hands. It's not my choice. I did the best I could. It's all up to you guys now. All right, I'm going to skip down to the Snowman Applique. Oh, they're coffee staining it. Oh, they coffee stained the snowman. I wonder, oh, the snowman's face is out of batting. Well, we'll probably not do that. We'll probably get some type of white fabric instead. Oh, yep. So this is the snowman's face. It's I'm thinking this is a warm company, warm and natural, because it feels just like that. Or it could be like Wrap and Zap, which is basically the same anyway. You're welcome, Michelle. If you guys, I will save this paper for a little bit. If you think I should take a picture of it, maybe I should write that down. Take a picture of it and put it on the community tab. Take pic of recipe for community tab. I don't feel like this is a recipe that can't be shared, like you have to buy this to get the recipe. Other than like the coffee, instant coffee, I've seen things like this before, so I don't think it's proprietary or anything like that. Okay. Maybe I should wait. Don't go out of order, Robin. That's how you get in trouble. Take the 7 by 9.5 piece of batting and lay this on the wrong side of the 7 by 9.5 piece of backing. Oh, look, I've got a commercial. So for those of you that didn't hear me when I said it, there's going to be ads coming out every 30 minutes. Not everyone will get an ad every 30 minutes, but my mouse, I don't know. I'm not thrilled with it. But we're all going to get up at, there's opportunity at some point for everyone to get an ad. So when I come up, you'll see the ads right there, and I'll just talk nonsense until the ad goes away. Since this is in a kit, there's all kinds of bits. The fabric is kind of dark, so I don't think most of it will show, but I thought I'd just clean it up a little. You guys can kind of figure this out just by watching me do it. So if I say the words, I'm not going to be too worried about it. So we're taking our batting and we're taking our backing. And the backing, I feel like we got extra, right? Let me get a ruler just in case I have to figure something out. Oh, I have my window open. I just heard ducks, a bird, a kid, I don't know. We have the walking path behind us and it's gorgeous out, so people might be walking. If the AC kicks on, because the house AC is set to turn on at 76 degrees, I'll have to go and shut the window because it's really loud. Oh, it was a political ad? Oh, yeah. I try not to pay attention. But the ad isn't going to change my decision, because you can look online and get an example of a ballot, and then you can research everything and make your decisions. Now this feels like 100% cotton. Let me see. Yep. So my iron isn't sticking to it, so I don't think it has any scrim, which is nice. This is a very pretty fabric. I like the background. You don't see the aqua. Oh, it's really hot. You don't see the aqua too much. Random, because why not? I bought a new thermometer for my room, so right now it's 73.4 with 39% humidity. Oh, 42% humidity because I put it here on the ironing thing. My big Oliso iron, because I have the thermometer thermostat thing right here, and then my iron's like right here. And the big one, they said, goes up to 400, 4¼ degrees. This temperature will go up by 2 degrees because the iron's about 18 inches away from it. It's crazy how much it can warm up a space. It's 58 degrees, brr. Jody, I spent 10 minutes this morning looking at electric fireplaces. I couldn't make a decision. I was looking on Amazon. I might go locally and just figure it out. So this is supposed to be 7 by 9.5. And it's close enough. So we don't need any of this extra over here. For those just joining in, this is the kit we're working on. See, now it says to take the 2 by 7 strips and the 2 by, guessing that's this one, 2 by 20 strip. Press them in half lengthwise, wrong sides together. Cut the 20-inch strip into 2 7-inch lengths. And then we're supposed to do things like this. And then we'll be sewing it down and everything. But you know me, we're not going to do that. We're just going to do a quilt as you go. So I'm going to trim off some of this batting just so that I can see where our quilt as you go areas. I don't want to put strips up here if there's no backing. So you can do the same method. We've done this many times. It just seems like a different project, but it's really not. We've done this before, so it's the same technique. It's just a different shape and different fabrics. Now, if you're fine with all this, you can leave it on there. You can also sew the top piece and just sew it together like patchworky in strips. And then, you know, put it together like a regular quilt. You don't have to do quilt as you go. So we're just going to figure it out. And I think I'm going to figure it out, and I'm not going to sew yet. Take your backing and batting, lay it down. Stitch a 1/4 inch along the raw edge. The second strip overlaps. So I think I'm going to skip down to the snowman because he's the most important. He takes up the most space. This one is, I like their fabric here because it's got the little bright yellow stars. And this is what I have. But it's okay. It's fine. I could always go in and pull something else out. Yeah, the US and the NATO. Yeah, I understand it influences the whole world. I totally get that. And I understand why they do the ads and the commercials. But if by putting an ad up, if that's going to change someone's mind, then it's the fact that they didn't have their mind completely set anyway, you know. If you're going to change my way of thinking, that means I didn't do any research ahead of time. Take this. Oh, it's interesting. We are not going to quilt as you go with this yet. We're going to take this and take our 3x10 strip and just stitch them along the 10-inch edge. Press the seam flat, press entire piece in half, wrong sides together, creating, oh, we're not doing the pocket because I just want a mug rug. I don't need the pocket. So I want this for my snowman. Overlaps the stitch. Okay, so do we want to go, I'm thinking we're just going to go straight, or do we want to be wonky? So let me know straight or wonky, and then I'll go from there. You've been keeping the vents closed in the bedroom. Furnace is set at 68. Oh, well, my kids, they don't know what a heat is on the AC, because in Florida, with the central heat and air, they hardly ever, because they either get up and go to work super early, or they don't get up until later in the morning when the sun's come out and it started to warm the house. So in Florida, we didn't have to run the heat except maybe 2 or 3 times a year, and only for an hour or two. So it's totally different. This fabric is really cute. I think this is the one that's supposed to be the pocket. So I could put this over here. I don't want to lose that tree. It would cut off the mouse though. May your days be merry and bright, but I really love that tree. So I think that's going to be my plan. Wonky, wonky, wonky. You know how it is, majority rules here with the wonky. So this has a piece of frayed area. So I'm going to put this here. Give it a little press. So this is why paying a lot of money for a pattern is not the greatest for me, because I tend to go my own way. I like, because I couldn't figure out patterns, because reading and understanding when it comes to creativeness, I struggle with. I can read and understand things. Of course, I can learn that way, but I do better in the creative atmosphere, genre, whatever, when I just do it. So that's why I don't do good with patterns. Giovanna and I are wonky. Jackie is wonky too. I love wonky. It would be a great little gift for your vet or doctor or nurse, because it has the animals on it, or just in general. I know my pharmacy back in Florida, they would have loved like coasters and stuff like that. So let's just do this. Hi, Laura. When I have a definite thought, like, oh, I like this things and I like that things, and this is where my skill set is, I do struggle. Now, if I want a quilt or a project or whatever, and I want it bad enough, oh, I'm going to follow those directions, no problem. I'm going to take a long time, and I'm not going to have anyone around me, and I probably won't even have anything. Maybe I'll put some music on, but I have to have an empty head, no thought process. I feel like there's a definite up and down to this, but I keep changing my mind which way it is. And then I can go and I kind of read through a paragraph and then I go step by step. If it's a good pattern, you know, you can go step by step and it won't go, okay, now that piece you didn't touch or you shouldn't do this with it. And you're like, oh, I already did that. Sorry, it's making my nose itch today. So this, I'm just going to sew this on and then trim off the extra. So I'll do my 1/4 inch seam. You get dehydrated? I am always dehydrated. Oh yeah, your daughter loves a hot car. I've noticed, like my kids, oh, sorry, my nose. I got dust going everywhere. My kids, I am definitely colder than my kids now. Justin has, as many of you know, he has the heart problems. So his hands are like freezing cold, but he still seems to run a little warm. I'm like, hey, it's 45 out this morning. You know, did you wear a hoodie when you went out? And he's like, yeah. Because the last time it was 45, yesterday, the day before, he went out in a flannel shirt and froze. You're kidding? Oh, Becky. I hope everything works out really well. I know it will because hip replacements have gotten so much better nowadays. And from everyone that I've talked to before, once they get the hip replacement, because the reason you're getting it is not due to a car accident yesterday. The reason you're getting it is because you've been having problems all along, and they say it's night and day. It's a hard process to go through, but once everything is healed, that everyone feels so much better. So my suggestion, if you get a little stir crazy and if you don't do knitting or crochet, it might be a good time to do a little EPP, making some hexies, even if you don't do anything with it, or learn how to hand sew quilt blocks. Because even if you're like on a lot of strong medication and everything's a little wonky, you kept your hands and your mind busy, and then you could just donate it or throw it away afterwards. I'm about to kiss a fool. Well, the only one I kiss now are my kitty cats, and they're a bit crazy. Hi, June. And hello to everyone that is currently just watching, listening and not watching. And anyone, my apologies if I missed you in the chat, because if I'm working, I don't look up and the chat scrolls and I miss it. Felt is really good too. Get some of those like penny kits or felt ornament kits, do a little embroidery, because a lot of the times like that, it's really easy. Maybe not cross stitch unless it's pre-printed on there, because if your mind's not working great, then you know. Oh yeah, the anxiety is just crazy. I totally understand that. You can have anxiety, which is about anything, and even if you've had like the same thing done over and over again, and this is like your 6th time, it's still anxiety. And hip replacements and knee replacements and stuff, they're big deals. But if you plan ahead and you're prepared, doctors have done them dozens of hundreds of times. Follow the rules, and I would say anything like backs, hips, knees, ankles, feet, things that you know you have to walk with and stuff. Follow the rules, do your therapy, and before you know it, it's going to be the new year, and you'll be wobbling around and not dancing. No, it's not the same as sitting at the machine. If you get too bad, you can those over the hospital bed tables and like that. While you're laying on the couch or laying in bed, slide it over, have a little sewing machine right there, and one of the ones that you can either put the foot pedal, I've seen people use their hand, or just do the automatic. And if you do that, you got to send me a picture because I think that would be hilarious. Becky's had enough. She's going to sew one way or another. You can sit and lay in whatever situation and maybe press your fabrics or sort them and organize them. Once you're a week or two out and you're feeling a little better, I bet you come up with something, because if you're already going stir crazy, it's only going to get worse, right? Yeah. I mean, when we're able to care for our families, and hopefully our families will care for us at some point. Yeah, because let's face it, depending on how your recovery is, sometimes, you know, good days, bad days, and then things, you know, on the good days, you want to do something else. You'll figure out, so I'm not even going to look at the back, however it is, that's going to be the right side up. You'll find a way, right? We usually do. All right, am I going to top stitch? I don't think I want white thread on all of this. Maybe a green or an aqua on the top. Do we want to quilt all the way through? Why do I do this to myself? Janice is running behind. You're watching. Oh, Iowa, Iowa. I thought I had because my daughter's in Iowa. She's down in Davenport. I had my phone weather set to it. And I'm like, oh, look, it's going to be 63 as a high today. No, that's Iowa. It wasn't here. I heard it's been pretty windy up there in all parts of Iowa. We have several people here from Iowa. Quilters can find a way, always. All right, I have to pause. Look, we're a half hour in and I haven't done anything yet. I really feel I'm going to be disappointed if I put white thread on there. So I'm going to go ahead and just, instead of, you know, bulldozing through it, I was trying to think of an animal, a bull in a china shop. I'm going to take the time and I'm going to change out my thread, and I'm going to use something that will make me happier. I'm going to put this in my shop so anyone who wants to call dibs on it can. But even though it's not for me, I still want to enjoy looking at it and working on it. So maybe red. Maybe red. Yeah, I mean, blah, 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 blah. So excuse me for the way my mouth doesn't work today, but I always thought you kind of have to have the wind to get all the leaves off the tree, because everyone tells me that it's not good to have leaves on the tree when the snow and the ice comes. It's not good for the trees and all of that. So I have a red and I have a bobbin, so that makes a decision. This is my Missouri Star, and even though I'm not doing affiliate with them anymore, I am still working on my collection because I like it. And I have a secret that I haven't been keeping secret. So Missouri Star sent me a box, and there's some surprises in the box, but one of them is their Snuggly Sweater Charm Pack, and they sent it as a little thank you. And if we want, we can do a Snuggly Sweater competition. We can enter a sweatshirt and create something with this and with our sweater template and enter in a contest in like December 1st to something or another on Instagram. So I have an idea that I'm going to be working on. I have to decide what color sweatshirt I want to get. All right, thread the machine. So I thought that was kind of fun, and that was really nice of them. So we're not completely, you know, done and forgotten with Missouri Star. So I thought that was nice that they sent a little holiday thank you. And they said we don't have to enter the contest, but if we want to, that is there for us to play with or to keep or do whatever with. The Snuggly Sweater Pack, the Charm Pack, has a lot of what you would consider ugly sweater fabric in it, but it's kind of cute. I had to change to my little topper. Whoop. Versus my big one, just because this thread spool's a lot lower. Maybe that's what I'll do, is I'll pick up some thread. I'll watch for a sale, pick up some thread for myself for Christmas. Maybe they'll have a sale with Black Fridays and all of that stuff. Okay. Oh yeah, organize things on your laptop. Catch up on all of Robin's videos. I've got like 7 years worth. All right, so we're gonna have this, and then we have to figure out what is our binding. 2.5 strip that is left and press it in length halfwise. This is the binding, yes. So we'll put that there. Now everything else, I'll get white for the snowman in a minute. Everything else here is for us to play with. So his scarf is this. I'm just gonna go by the picture, you know? So let me trim this green off. I have a couple greens, so I can make one maybe with a green scarf. So there's that. We'll pretend this is our snowman face still. So there's our snowman. This is our scarf. So if we want our snowman, it was nice that they have, this is the layout for it, and then this is that. So since we have that, and we have the snowman head, scarf, nose, and then he doesn't have a hat, so I need white. I'll come back and check the chat in a second. So if you're screaming at me, my apologies. Look, I have my white fabric. You're going to brag a second. In the attic space, looking east to the mountains and only see red, orange, yellow. Oh, all the trees. Yeah, next fall, my daughter will be here and we'll go on a leaf peeping adventure and go check it out. Oh yeah, I kept you company early on, Jody. You didn't have that much to play catch up on. So there's a specific fabric in here I'd like, because I'm not looking forward to going through the white, because I know it's a thicker white fabric. If I can just find a piece big enough for him. Otherwise, I'll have to double it up. Now, white scraps, I don't have a lot, and I don't have really hardly any that's white with like a background of white, maybe like red speckles on a white or something like that. I don't have that. So that's something I need to build up for my stash. Like this. Things like this. I only have a few of the, like the low volumes. I have a lot of this Girl Scout fabric. So I've been trying to collect a little bit more of this, but I don't need like tons of it. Maybe I'll find a charm pack or something. All right, it looks like we're gonna have to double up. And I'll get out the interfacing. Maybe that'll do it. Oh, you know what I'll do is I'll put fusible fleece on the back of it. That should solve the shadowing issue. All right, hold on. That's a little bit further away. I gotta pull my leash. Make sure I don't pull the camera this time. Fusible fleece. If you were fusible fleece, where would you be? Is this you? No. I keep moving things every time I use it, so then I can't find it. I'm like, I don't need this very often. Let me put this over here. That's fusible fleece. Because I have a bolt of it in my closet, but I have scraps here. My white fabric, oh yeah, that's a hot mess. Most of that is just going to go in the trash once I start sorting through it. It just, that's where it ends up. And then I'll figure it out afterwards. So let's see if fusible fleece will solve our issue. It'll still be a little dark through there, but I think I'll be okay. The last famous words, what, that I'll throw it away? Oh no, those white scraps will definitely go. If they're not long enough to be like a diagonal on a fabric postcard, they'll go. Like right now, okay, you'll laugh, but this piece right here that I cut off, I will save because this is a triangle. And this will match. Where's my container? This will work with the scraps I have in here because I know I have some triangles in here, like this. So this, you're like, throw it away, Robin. Oh, why don't you throw it away, Robin? But look, I just made a half square triangle. Or the start of like a quarter square triangle. So that I will keep. But I will throw things away. I throw away a lot of stuff. I fill up this trash can a couple times a month. And that's only fabric-y scraps. Okay, so this, Joann's has threads half price on their website. I would order, not go in because they reset their stores and Gutermann is not in the number order. Oh, it's a mess. I'm going to throw away a lot of stuff. You'd be surprised how much I throw away. You'd also be surprised at what I keep too, I'm sure. All right, so I'm going to put this just right on, because this is the opposite. It's already been mirrored. So here is the head. I mean, if you want your snowman to go the other way, then you can just use the placement guide. And then the scarf, let me get his nose in there. Nose will fit over there. I'm going to leave all of the fusible behind each piece just so that we don't have any weird shadowing if I don't make it small enough. Because sometimes if you leave a border around it and you cut out the center, plus like I said, this feels like whatever I said, and it's more flexible than heat and bond. This is much more flexible. Okay. All right, so there's that. Where's my scissors? Watch, I'm going to use scissors on paper because the Kai scissors, you can do that. I will trim this down just to make sure I don't get it, because I have my good wool mat and I'm using my good iron. I've stopped saving most of my fusible. I don't use it on doing my fabric postcards anymore. And I don't do too many applique bits where I need like small pieces. So I have been throwing it away instead of saving it, unless there's already fabric fused to it. And then I just want to do a fun collage sewing machine mat with that. But I used to use this to fuse the postcards together. Now I have found out that I can use school glue as long as I brush it, because if I don't brush it, then you can see the lines right through, and I don't like that. Okay, so this has to go on the back of this. So like the part that's cut off here, I will save that and put it in. Well, it's got the heat and the fusible fleece, so I probably wouldn't. But if it was just this on there, I would save it. People do use the tiny pieces. Depending on like the white ones, I may or may not. If it's nice fabric and I think it could be used in like a crumb plot project, I will add it to the other one. And then everyone else can just decide, you know, what they want. A lot of times with those scrap things, I will say, here's the scraps. Okay, here's your price. And then I will add extra crumbs and whatnot in. So there's that. Here's a carrot. Remember, we're putting it on the back side. And I'm making sure, I mean, I could just put it on my little wooden pressing mat here. Make sure it just stays a little bit. Give it a little iron. We decided that this was, yeah. Now, I will be opening up a Shopify next year, and it's going to be able to allow me to change how I sell some things. I will have Etsy and Shopify for at least a little bit until I decide what I want to do 100%. But having the Shopify, from what I understand, it should allow me to be a little bit more flexible with the random little things like that. Because on Etsy, it can be done, obviously, but if you want to sell something for $5, it gets a little hard because you've got listing fees, you've got the Etsy fees, and then you've got credit card fees, and all of these fees that just keep adding up like crazy, which then jacks up the price. So sometimes those little bundles, oh, look, there's an ad. So those bundles can get going higher and higher and higher with price, and then it prices it out of the reasonableness of it, you know? Okay. So let's cut these out. So all of this fabric has no fusible on it, but it will have fused here. And I will save this piece because there'll be a lot of fabric around it and add it to my pre-fused bits like that to do the collage. I probably will hope to 85% do it as a live stream or as a tutorial in itself. Just because I know if I make it and it turns out cool, everyone's going to be like, how do you make it? We'd like a tutorial. I'll be like, I already did it. I don't want to do another tutorial. But if I'll start doing the video as a recorded probably. And if it turns out nice, I'll keep recording. If it's starting to get muddy and ugly, then I just stop recording and delete it. And it won't matter. Maybe I'll do something else like a small mug rug. All right, so there's a snowman scarf. The colors go well together, but I like snowmen with blue or red scarves. Shopify has a flat monthly fee. I wish the ads, I have all the way up here, that's all ads. So now it makes it harder to see. Will you go away if I do that? I can go like that, but that's good enough. Shopify has a flat monthly rate. The reason I didn't do it before is I needed to make sure I sell enough to cover the flat monthly rate. And yeah, but some of the things just aren't worth. You're just taking your trash and selling it and taking money and giving your trash to someone else. I kind of know the difference between fabric that's worth selling to someone or giving away for just the cost of shipping. So Giovanna, if you say, hey, fill a bag up, you'll pay the shipping, I'll send it to you. Otherwise, you know, there's plenty of other places that people can get their scraps from. I can only do, I'm going to round that tip a little. I can only do so much, you know. There's only so much that I can do and time in the day. And as it is, I'm already struggling to take the time and the space to have what I consider junk. This piece I will save because I do know I have other triangles this small. That's pretty small, but again, when I go through that one container, it's getting, this is my tabletop container. So this is pretty full now, so I'll have to do something with it soon. So I'll take one of my days. Now in here, there are some bits. Now this is really fun, but this would have to go on a postcard with the fusible interfacing. This has character. This is worth saving. I did save this white strip so that it's a snowflake. So when I start sewing other ones together, I can use it as a separator. But I can only make so many fabric postcards, you know? I can only do so much. So I can't save everything. You can't save everything. We can't save everything. All right, so what's good with a snowman is if your circle isn't perfectly round, it's all right because snowballs and snowmen made out of snow aren't. This isn't round anyways. Hold my scissors. I take my left hand since I'm right-handed, and as my scissors are slowly closing, Carol Duvall, may she rest in peace, taught us how to move this so we don't get a jagged, because when you're cutting, you kind of get flat spots on a circle. So always move your fabric and notch your scissors. I even put my right elbows right up against my ribs so that it doesn't wobble. Ta-da! So that piece Look, I'm doing it. It's gone. Now ask, have I ever gone through the bucket afterwards and pulled out stuff? Oh, yes, ma'am, I have. All right, so here's our snowman. Now, I think our snowman is going to possibly, because I have the binding and the snowman. Snowman looking up, snowman looking one way or the other. So I think I want to put the next row of pieces on before I do the snowman, but we can fuse these pieces together, and I'll show you how when I go to my magical little drawer area over here. Boy, I've got a stack of crap to pick up now. Come on, leash. Here, puppy, puppy. This is one of those Teflon mats that I picked up at the Dollar Tree back in Florida. There are applique sheets. It's just in a container and you have to unzip it, so I'm not going to. But this way you can put your applique down and iron it to each piece. I'm going to leave the snowman's head on because he's the bottom layer. And I can put these all on and then they won't stick to the mat, but they'll stick to each other. I have a friend that does crumb quilting, but I don't have, I did the whole crumb curtain and everything, and it was a great experience. I really loved it, but I learned a lot. I learned that I'd rather use rectangles and squares and strips, that I don't like sewing little small pieces together like that. So I'm more of an extra large crumb person. I don't like the little bits. I mean, if someone would honestly say, save your bits, I will pay the shipping, and, kind of cover the listing fees to put it on Etsy and everything, like, I'll do it, but, I don't want to save stuff and fill a gallon-sized bag up and everything, and then have the person say, oh, never mind, I changed my mind. Because you can go onto Etsy and you can buy bags of crumb fabric and stuff. It takes a lot to get up to a pound, and a lot of people sell it by the pound. So it's really surprising how much. Now I have a lot of yardage that I would like to share and stuff. I'm just trying to decide how I want my snowman head. I have this, see that snowflake right there? And then these are all cut off. So I kind of want to have that up at the top. His scarf does fly, so there's his head, excuse my band-aid, and there's his scarf, so it does fly pretty far. So we can have that. So let me see. Normally you'd line it up, but that's not how this one is made. So we have that. Then I can press it. I'm not going to press it a lot because I only need it to hold it for a little bit until I get it to my fabric. And then this part is glued right now to this pressing mat, but I'm just going to leave it there. It'll cool down a little bit. We'll be fine. So I hope you guys are ready for a little, once again, I mean, we usually go for a long time anyway, so we'll be hanging out for a little bit today. After I do all of the quilting, I'll either come through and do a couple French knots or just take a Sharpie and put 2 dots for his eyes right here. Moving the nose around is where you're going to get his character from. Make sure nothing sticks to the back. Okay, see that's glued. I just peel it off. So I just want to see what he's going to look like on here. So he's got 2 dots for an eye and a little circle for an O for his mouth. I think I like that. Now remember, anything I do on the live stream takes about 4 times as long. Sorry, I didn't turn off my tablet. Too lazy to wait for it to turn back on when we're done with the live stream. Whatever I do here takes me 4 times as long if I did it by myself without hanging out with you guys and chatting. So if you want to work on projects like this, you can make 4 or 5 of these for like Christmas gifts, and it wouldn't take you that long at all. I'll keep you company, Giovanna. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to your daughter. All right, all done. Put it away so you don't have to put it away later. It'll only take a second. I even know what drawer it's in. I'm wearing jeans today. The problem with jeans is my hips and thighs are of a larger proportion than my waist. So I'm actually wearing guy jeans just because they fit nice and they're cheap. But then my waist keeps falling down and I don't want to put a belt on. But hey, at least it won't fall down too far because my fat butt, hips, and thighs will keep it up, right? All right, so this I'm going to set up there so we don't lose them. I got this. Now we can start building our way up. Oh, yeah, this is our pocket with the animals on it. They had candy cane and pigs. I've got the tree. So the tree, I got the tree. I'm really happy. I love Christmas trees and regular trees and the tree of life and all of that. So these are done. He's done. Oh, I think, okay, this one has 2 pieces. So I don't know. Do we want him there? There's red there. I think maybe we should put this guy. Now, as I'm sewing these down, oh yeah, because my batting's a little wide. I'll just keep it centered. I can choose, you know, I mean, I could do the folding in half, but they worked from the top down. I could, you know, make it smaller. It doesn't have to be this wide. I think this is, I need to get, where's my ruler and a rotary cutter. Those are too wide. I'm going to go down to 1.5 inches because I like 1.5 inches and that's awfully thick, awfully wide. This is my fabric postcard trimming mat, so it's all fuzzy, but if I turn it over, it's good. So I'm going to take this. I don't know if I want to use that. I like this. Do we have enough? How wide are these? Thanks, Becky. I think that they're really cute. And you can just figure this out easily on your own. You can draw the snowman head, or there's tons of coloring book pages that you can get it. This snowman's head is 2 3/4 inches, so you can get one that's like 2.5, 3 inches. And the scarf is like 3.5 by 1 inch, just to give you a basic idea. But whatever you print out, size it or make a bigger mug rug. So these are 2 inches, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim them all down to 1.5 so that I can visually see everything I need. This is a pretty fabric. This is the backing fabric with just a red background. So that's pretty. And I love anything with a swirl. And I love stars. Now this red fabric is this red fabric, but it's in a different spot. So I'm going to turn it this way to see if I can get that ball in there. And we'll leave that light colored guy out just for now, because we can always add him in if we need it. Now it's going to give me a very narrow strip, and I don't even think I would fabric postcard with this or crumb with it. And y'all might think I'm crazy just to be trimming off 1/2 inch, but really it's going to allow me to put more fabric on our postcard here, our mug rug, and it won't be like 3 fabrics. It'll be like, hey, 4 or 5 fabrics. It kind of looks nice. So we have this one, and then we can have, I'm just overlapping them about 1/4 inch. I'm terrible with distances, so I don't know. And then I want this guy. I'm probably going to pull him out. I'll put this here. And we'll go with a red, green, red thing. See, now look, I got all the fun fabrics in. These two are very light colored and they do stand out. I was hoping to get the leaves in there because there's a lot of green and stuff, but I like just this. And we decided not to be wonky, so we have this too. So I can pull out the chicken butt, because that's the only thing that's in there is a chicken butt. And I can put that in. Or so what do you think? Can you see it all? There we go. I like it. Oh, Pat's here. Hi, Pat. June and Jody and Giovanna and Jackie and Becky and Sue is here, but she's probably busy doing something. Oh, YouTube told me that they're working on something soon. If you guys are one of my patrons or you're aware of Patreon where they have the community where we can post pictures and chat, we don't do it, but we could. They're bringing something like that to YouTube. So there will be a place where you guys will be able to actually talk with me and other people and post pictures. Kind of like Instagram, sort of, kind of. What were they? Oh, message boards. Do you remember message boards from way back when? It'll be like that. At least that's what I understood it to be. I could be completely wrong, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to post pictures there. So it'll be similar to Facebook without being private, and you can have everything all in one spot. So I thought Facebook, yeah, so I thought that would be a good thing. I don't have it yet. I don't know if it's rolled out yet, but it's there. Patreon has also given me the option to take some of my Patreon videos and I can sell them individually. So if there's certain ones you wanted to watch of the projects that you saw me show, I haven't put it in yet, but that's on my list of things to work on for next year. So you can individually purchase just one video instead of being a patron every month and stuff like that. So I don't know, it depends on whether or not you really want to see something, a certain, technique or video. So that I'll put that up. And it's like no one's under any obligation to do it, but if there was something you really wanted to see, then you would have that option. Look, I think we're going to actually get to so-so now. All right. What I think is I'm going to, let's just call it top stitch. I'm going to about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch sew down on this seam. Hey, look, directions. Isn't that nice? And then I'll go and I will put one down and then a stitch. So once I do this one, I'll show you. I'll put this one down and I'll bring it up and show you, and then I'll just sew it. Do you guys want to come over and hang out at the sewing machine, or you want to stay where you are? Hi, Susan. You want to come in for a close-up view? I'm not fancy. I only have one camera right now, so we have to physically move things if we want to do it. So you tell me, move or stay. I'm going to sew this first one while you guys think about it. Bye, Becky. Good luck, Becky. My apologies, but I know I will forget by Tuesday. It's too many days off, but good luck, Becky. I'm going to write it down. I hope everything goes out well and that your first couple days of recovery are nice and easy. Oh, I can take my camera and I can move it to the sewing machine so you can see me physically sew. Or can you say, you can see good enough? I'm going to leave you there. Because last time you said stay too, so I just thought I'd give you one more option again. Tuesday, hip surgery. Okay. You can see both, so you're good. Okay, yeah, because that moving back and forth is annoying, but I know sometimes some people are like, hey, we can't see you, we can't see the sewing, we can't see the ironing. I'm like, hey, listen, I can't give you guys everything, I just can't. I'm not capable of that. So I like to, my needle's at the 1/4 of an inch and the side of my foot is where the 1/4 inch is. So I like to, let me just show you. just so in case you guys need to know these things. Here's 1/4 of an inch and my needle is like right here. I lined this inside hole of the metal on the side of my sewing. And that allows me to get a consistent, whatever it happens to be. It's usually about 1/8 of an inch, but that's how I do my top stitching, and how I can usually keep everything straight is I just use my presser foot to the best of my abilities. You could always, my needle does move back and forth, but the problem with that, there's a little line here too that you can follow. And then with the clear one, the metal comes all the way up so I can see it. But if I move my needle, I tend to forget to move my needle back. And then I have to take stitches out and I'm not happy. All right, so here's one. Since I'm using dark fabrics, I don't have to worry about the thread showing underneath anything when I keep going and I don't like cut the thread there. So here's my next one. And since my fabric doesn't go all the way over, I'm just going to center it. I'm going to put my first one down, sew it, and then I'm going to iron it. Now the top of my fabric here isn't straight either. Of course not, why would it be? Have you met me, right? So now I go with the 1/4 of an inch. You can, if you need this fabric to go just a little bit further, do a scant 1/4 of an inch, especially if we're going to top stitch. But I can always put this, or I can put the red ducky or whatever fabric, chicken fabric or something. I don't even care with this if my seam allowances are all the same, because it's going to balance out. Now, I prefer to go to the sewing machine, but since I'm going to top stitch right away, I'm going to hold this down, give it a good pushing finger press, and then I'll top stitch on here. And this is already super crooked. So we're going to end up being a little bit wonky, I think, but it's a little mug rug, will be fine. If I cut, well, a lot of these aren't long enough to cut in half, Sue. This one is. I could cut them narrower. Yeah, I could do that. Okay, so there is my top stitching right there, really close. You can see it there. Now, the back can move around a little bit. Sometimes with this process, if this was a bigger project, I would have spray basted it. But since, see, both sides are fine, there's no of the scrim. You should see me when I'm doing videos. I do this all the time. I have to stop. Sometimes you'll see me going like this because it helps my brain think. I like to make sure that this keeps going. You could pin it, but then I would poke myself and bleed and I'd need more Band-Aids. I do have the stopping thread here from that first one, so I will trim that off just because I don't want it in there. Sometimes the beginning and ending ones, we have a little space, so it's not too bad. But once you start doing some projects like this, you kind of find your rhythm and figure it out. Wonky's good because we're not doing crooked wonky. We're just gonna, we'll wobble a little bit. Because I only cut off a bit without paying attention. Now, if you really wanted to go wonky, you can just move it a little bit. But you're probably going to need more strips that way. Because, you know, if you wonk it in one direction, it's not going to be the full inch or 1.25 inches that we started with. I'm not even using an accurate 1/4 inch seam. I can see that right away. Sometimes if I've gone past like the fabric, I'll just leave everything sitting there. The needle's down, the foot's down. I press this, then I can lift up the needle and the foot and top stitch it. Thread everywhere. So is everyone all done with all of their Christmas presents? You guys have made everything, right? You finished all the quilts. You've got nothing left to do. As I said it with a giggle and a laugh. How many people are going to be doing last minute things? I am at the cuffs of my son's socks, so I have like a total of 15 rounds on each sock, but I'm knitting them 2 at a time. So I was going to sit down and do that before the live stream, but I decided to sort and press the purples. But then I got to start on his mitts, and I don't know. Yeah, it saves a lot of thread, and if you're not leaving the machine anyway, now sometimes I will go through and I'll sew all of them, and then I will come back and top stitch, but this is a small project. I don't feel like I need to do that. Oh, my poor nose. There's definitely going to be a fool coming today, huh? My grandmother used to have itchy palms all the time, and she's like, company's coming. And then we have, oh my goodness, and we have this one. With the window open, you know, I probably have to dust my fan. I haven't done it this month yet, so that probably needs to be done. Plus, it's very dusty here. Yeah, it's just easier. If you're going to do this is like true, I guess you could say, quilt as you go, since we are going through all the layers. But I just think you can kind of loosely give titles to some things. But it's nice to have the back nice and even. And the cotton batting helps because it holds it in place. But then you can pin it or something. This piece is small enough, I know it's staying in place, that it's not, oh my goodness, sorry. It's not, if it was really long, I would pin or clip at the end just to make sure that it's not going to fold back, because I've lived that life before. When I first started quilting, most of my quilts, the backing in the corners would fold over and I'd quilt over it because I didn't know to like cut the extra off past the backing and stuff, the batting and all. So I always had issues with that. Now it looks like I'm going to either not have enough and add a piece, or not have enough and make it shorter. We shall see. And again, with the 1.5 inch strips, since these are smaller than the 2.5 I used on yesterday's tutorial and stuff, I don't really feel the need like I would with a string block to come back and press it and stuff like that. It doesn't get that weird extra fabric buckle or anything. I forgot to top stitch that one. At least I didn't forget. Well, this one's not a big deal. A lot of times when I do the scrappy projects, I kind of have to go back and fake it because I forget the top stitch somewhere in the middle of the project. So I'm going to measure this and see where we're at and talk rambly business stuff again. So with my shop, I have a lot of things in there that haven't sold, and I don't want to take tons of them over to, so we're good. We're 9.5 by 7 before I trim it up. I don't want to take a lot of my shop items into the new year and into Shopify. So I think I'm going to start with just putting everything on a really good sale. Now, because I top stitched, sorry for this, I got to go back and forth. But since I top stitched and quilted it down, I have 2 lines on each spot. If you don't like that, or you want different colors or whatever, either don't put the back on or sew this all together, right? And then do the top stitching. I used to do sales on here, but doing it that way means me going through PayPal a lot and creating invoices and stuff like that. I might just do okay, everything's on sale today, you know, whatever day it is, I'll do a live stream and I'll just show you everything that's in the shop, and then you can go and find it. It's because it's either put everything on sale, and I'm talking like, I don't want to wait for Black Friday, but I don't want a sale for the whole month of November. I'm thinking I'm putting everything in the shop or certain sections again for like anywhere from 20% to 45% off. Because really, I want to clear out the shop and I want to start pretty fresh going into Shopify in the new year. So I want to do a big inventory clean out again. So I was thinking to either do that or to take things that are already in the shop and create mystery boxes out of it. So I might do a little video discussing those options, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, once a year when you're coming up to the end of the year, that's why Black Friday and stuff and that whole weekend of sales is really great because shops can clear things out before they, oh, I don't want to trim it yet, before they go into the inventory of the end of the year inventory and stuff. So I was just curious if I should do mystery boxes or I should just put everything on sale and let you guys choose. I'm thinking you're going to want to just choose. There's an ad. I don't know if you have an ad, so I'm just going to sit here and iron. Check my thread bits. Get rid of the ad. See, I don't watch the ads. You don't have to watch the ads. So I don't know if I should. I'm thinking you guys will want to just choose your own stuff and do mystery boxes next year. But if you want to do them this year, I'm all for that too. I mean, either way, I have to package the stuff up. So whether I package it into a box or I package it as you order it, one way or the other. So I think I'll start, maybe do a weekend of just a big time sale. Like maybe, I was thinking, because I did it in sections before. Like, I'm just going to make up a thing. Like Monday, all tote bags are on sale. Tuesday, all of these are on sale. And then since most of the time, if you spend $35 or more, you're going to get free shipping. So I wouldn't even have to worry about combining shipping. I could say I'm not shipping anything out until Saturday or the next week. And then you guys can just order each day and pile it on. You haven't gotten an ad? That's great. Very happy for you on that one. I don't mind getting the ads because, you guys can at least see that you're not the only one getting them. All right, so here's my snowman. So I can put him down here. I could put him up a little higher. I just want to see where about 1/4 of an inch is. Maybe I should trim it. All right, let's trim it. We'll trim it, and then I'll know exactly where 1/4 of an inch is. I'll put the snowman on, and if stitching the snowman down shrinks it a little bit, then that's... Ooh. You ever step on something, it's like a cool spot, but you think it's wet? Ooh, that was scary. All right, drink time. So I think that's what I'm going to try to figure out maybe this weekend or into next week. I'll just figure out a schedule, and we'll do just a blowout sale for a whole week. And I'll just mark it down that my shipping is 7 days. So because if you buy something on Monday and you plan on buying something on the other days too, Etsy gets mad if I don't ship it out in 1 to 2 days. So I need to mark it that the shipping is like 7 days or they yell at me. And even though I've changed everything on my profile that I could possibly change, and I tried to get Etsy to change the rest, they still think I'm in Florida. So they're giving everyone in Florida, the Carolinas, all the different places that had hurricanes, they're giving them a little bit of a little, hey, it's okay. We're not going to yell at you for doing stuff right now because, you might not have a house situation. I feel bad because I'm not in that area, but I can't get them to stop. So, all right, let me see. Everyone's a little wonky, so if I trim it down to 9 1/4, I can line up all of my seams. They're pretty close. So even though it's wonky, it'll look straighter if I do this. And then that way everyone will, hopefully if they find something, it'll be on a good price. My shortest one is up at the top, so I need to go at, I don't want to go 7 1/8, so I'm just going to move over to 7 inches. And this will end up being 7 inches by 7 inches. Can I get it? 9 3/8, of course. So let's just do 9 1/4. 7 inches by 9 1/4. That's still a good mug rug size, and you can also just put it up on the wall. Where did you move to? Glad you're not in the bad Florida. I'm in Surprise, Arizona. I'm just a little click up northwest of Phoenix, Arizona. So basically in the center of Arizona. Thank you, Giovanna. 9 1/4. See, this ruler doesn't have anything on the back, so it just kind of slid and did its own things. Clean as you go, and you won't have a mess later. All right, so there's our mug rug. If you used a fun fabric right there, you wouldn't even need to put a snowman if you don't want to. But it's a snowman mug rug, and I already did it. Yeah, the holiday gift sales, and you'll have plenty of time to see what you have. I'll have it shipped out, and you'll get it before the holiday rush, so you're not waiting for things to come in the mail during that crazy Black Friday sale. I'm not usually organized enough to have a Black Friday sale, but I try to do sales ahead of time. So it's a little bit, it's a little bit off skew, but I don't think it's really wonky. You look at it, you're like, well, this one's a little bit, and those are a little, I don't know. But yeah, this whole one right here is the one that set it off. Now, I could have made it straighter, but I think it's got character. It does get hot here. It's just not humid. It's not the heat that really bothers us. It's the heat from the sun itself. Like in Florida, the air is hot, but the sun's behind all the moisture in the air and everything like that. So I didn't even wear sunglasses half the time in Florida, which is not good. But here, I can't leave the house without sunglasses because there's hardly any cloud coverage and there's no moisture in the air. So it's literally a desert sun beating down on you, and it's horrible. All right, so the paper's off. Throw it in the trash. This has got sticky, and this has got sticky in the nose and stuff. I have the, oh yeah, that's going to look good. I have the fusible fleece in there to stop the white from shining through. Hi, Campin' Lady 81. Oh, I'm going to move it up some, Giovanna, because I want to make sure I have room for my binding and stuff. So binding is at least 1/4 inch, and mine is usually wider because it's sewn to the back and brought to the front. So I want to make sure I have at least 1/2 inch. I don't want to get it on my tree. He almost looks like a snow globe. So I think I can line it up right with that seam right there. Put him up a little bit. Put him on that seam, because if he was smaller, he could fit right in there, but I kind of like when they go a little bit. So maybe I will move him off of there and put him right there. And then when you've shaken so many times and you've tried so many different things and you can't come up with anything, just stick it down and put the iron on it. Now you can't change your mind. Yeah, so you could put the snowman just about anywhere. Now this has the look. It just doesn't have the pocket because I put that over there. It would have still been easy to make some kind of a pocket like you would in a tote bag, where it just kind of slides in without having it applique down onto the fabric. So I'm going to have to stitch him down, and I'm also going to have to change my thread. And then this is my binding. It's going to match the backing. Oh no, look, I've got to trim it more. See, can you see that? Yeah. Oops. There's always something. At least it's on the right-hand side and not where I've already got the snowman guy going. I like the single fold binding, so 1.5 inches. So I don't want to have all of that there. And these tables are great because something just fell. I can put my rotary cutter and stuff underneath there. All right, so now it's going to be 6 3/4 by 9 1/4. Oh, that's a little sad, but we are working with the fabric that we have, you know. It is what it is. And it's gone. No more stressing, no more worries. What's done is done. And I didn't cut off his nose. And his nose is still far enough away that I don't have to worry about the... Now, if you had it too close, you can always kind of peel up his nose a little bit and put it, after you put the binding on, then put the nose on, especially since we're going to be quilting all the way through it. I do really love the decision of not putting any of these lighter fabrics in. It makes sure everything in the back is a little bit darker. We have some brightness in here with the color, and then the snowman snow globe there pops out. All right, put this back there. Now we have to cut this. Could have done it right on the cutting mat. That would have made life easier, wouldn't it, Robin? Why make things easier? All right, so we measure all the way around and add it together. Or we multiply the sides. So 6 3/4, so that's 7 by 10. So I need 70 inches plus a bit for my binding. Let me cut off my salvages. I mean, we have it, so we could do double fold, but it's such a thin project. It'll be, especially if I bring it to the front, we're going to have a very wide border on then. Now, I had to spin my cutting mat around, so I don't, my number is 35 and 24 are in the corner. So let's see how long. Is this actually like 42 inches or 40 inches? It's 42 inches. I said we needed 70? Did I do that right? I don't normally multiply them. All right, so 7 and 7 is 14, and 10 and 10 is 20. That's 34. I didn't do the math right. Someone said just take this and multiply by this, but I think that gives you the whole area in there, right? You have to add them together. I don't know why I listen to people. It gets me in trouble every single time. You haven't had an ad yet either? Awesome. I tried to, oh, this isn't even, is this 2.5 inches? Okay, it's wider. It's 2.5 inches and 2 3/4 of an inch. My daughter's like, you know, don't do this or don't do that. But I tried to explain to her that, yes, sometimes we get ads now, but I said there's people that are currently watching the replay right now. And she's like, how could you watch a replay when it's still live? I said, because if you go, and I need to iron this, if you come into the video right now and you're like, oh, wow, they're so far into the live, I want to start at the beginning. If you start at the beginning, it's technically a replay because you're not live. I'm live, but if you go back and start from the beginning, it's not live. So those people are on a replay. So if I don't have the ads and I don't monetize it, then all of the people that are watching it right now, you know, you lose out. You lose out on your pennies. And it's just a game that YouTube has everyone play, you know. If you're doing it as a job, you really kind of just have to pay attention to the pennies. All right. So what I'm going to do, since I probably need a new blade soon, but I'm still using the Missouri Star one just because the blade is still the sharpest, I'm going to smidge just off the edge here. Just a sliver. And then it cleans up the edge because it's a little fuzzy. And now when I do 1.5 inches. Now, Giovanna, I will be saving this bit because it's decently wide for my scrappy fabric postcards, and it is so long that I can get some good use out of it. So I'm going to put that in my sewing tabletop container that I have to use soon. Yeah, 34 is right. Great. You've had 4 ads, and we've been on for 1 hour and 40 minutes. 4 ads, that's not too bad, I hope. You're getting everyone else's ads, huh? But as long as you can just click out of them, as soon as you can, just click out of them. Don't listen to them from me. You've got on 2 phones. Yeah, because I like to watch. I'll watch on my tablet, and I'll comment on my phone. So I usually have 2 going at the same time, too. Sorry. I need too much talking, so I need chapstick and a drink. So remember to stay hydrated, because even though we're in the winter, you're definitely going to need it more now too, because you're not outside, but you are inside with the heat on, and that's going to dry out your air. So you might need a humidifier. You had it had every time I did? Yeah, I'm on mute, so I'm okay. I just click it out as soon as I can. If we were doing, right now we're just kind of hanging out and having fun. If we were doing a sit-down serious stream, I would not put the ads on because I wouldn't want anyone to miss out any information. So I have new labels coming from France because I'm getting a little low on these, and they had a sale, buy 100, get 100 for free. And the price itself was on sale, so I'm stocking up on that. Hi, Morsey. Hi, sweetie pie. Did you wake up from your nap? Yeah. I had to take, my son's been putting his car in and out of the garage this week. Unfortunately, he got it out, and within 10 minutes, it had a problem that they thought they fixed with the overheating, but it didn't. So I'd closed my door to protect my cats from my daughter's cats. I turned off all the lights, and it was like 5, 6 o'clock at night, so it was really dark. S'mores loved it. I came home, and she just gave me the evil look, like, why did you come home and wake me up? It was dark and cool. They loved it. Because during the day, I don't talk to myself. I'm just going to repeat myself. If I missed anything, my apologies. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone. Just 1 second. I need to go across the room and grab a little something, something. Bear with me. When I talk too much, I swallow too much air, and then I get a gassy belly. So I'm just, not to be too personal, but I'm going to take some Gas X just so I don't sit here and burp in your ear for the rest of the stream. Justin and I are due to get some new phones soon. Just to let you know that if I disappear at any time during a live stream, it's probably because I can't see the battery on my phone. So if I run out of battery, you guys aren't plugged in. Usually it's pretty good, but all right, we good? Oh, you just got to share all the personal things, right? Hi, Steph. We'll keep you busy. I'll cut batting while I watch. That sounds good. It made me think I've got jelly rolls. Someone sent me some jelly rolls. Someone sent me some of the jelly roll batting to make the jelly roll rugs, because just like most of us, they wanted to make them. They thought they would, and they never did. So after having them sitting on their shelves for years, they decided to share it with me. I ordered the Clover tool. Someone sent me another tool, but it's packed somewhere and it's different. But everyone's raving about that Clover tool. So when I saw it on sale on Amazon and actually in stock, I picked up one. So soon we're going to start with making like coasters. We'll work our way up to a rug. Maybe we'll make a placemat or something. But I see a lot of people, they just buy the big rolls. I watched this one lady, Meteo, Mateo, something or another, and she makes a lot of jelly roll rugs on Instagram. All right, so sometimes I like to think where I might want to put my label. I could put one of the ones you iron on and sew down, but since I didn't do it before doing it all, I put it on here. So I'm looking forward to that, and I want to do the rug bowls because my Juki should be stronger than the brother I had before. So I want to do some rug bowls, but there's another thing. Oh, Becky's not here. Becky, if you can hear my voice in the future, you can do the rug bowls with fabric or yarn, and you can do it by hand while you're sitting down watching TV, or you can do it by machine. Now, I've done them before, both ways actually. I really love doing them by wrapping the yarn or the fabric around it by hand. So I really want to do that soon too. I'm just putting my label on the back. I'm stitching really close to the edge so that I don't have to hold it down when I do the binding. That's always fun. You're on break from Apple? Yeah, only between us and a few hundred people, right? Now, really, out of all of us, there has to be someone else that has some type of an issue. My gastroenterologist told me that I have what he calls lower heartburn, which means it's like acid reflux and heartburn, but it's in the lower tracts, like in your stomach and in your intestines, versus the heartburn all the way up in your chest. And of course, I talk too much and too fast, and I swallow air. And that's, generally what make people burp, whether you swallow the air from soda or from talking too much. And I have to give S'moresy something to eat now. So that's my problem. But I find Gas X. I buy the Amazon generic, and it works really well and solves my problem. So why not? I checked, and you can have as much as you want. It's not like a dangerous item. So if you have 4 a day or you have 1 a day, you're okay. So it's like, why suffer when you can feel it gurgling up in your belly? Why suffer if you can just take something quick to fix it? It's that time of year, and I love ginger ale, so I bought the ginger ale from Sam's Club, where they have the raspberry ginger ale and the blackberry ginger ale. I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay. The eyes will be done later. I'm going to sew my binding to the back. I like to sew it away from my tag because the tag makes it a little thick anyway, and I don't want the opening and closing is a little thicker, so I don't want to have it there. 1.5 inch binding. Oh, you didn't want the food? Well, fine. Single fold. I have videos on my channel for it. It's been really fun because new people have been finding my channel and catching some older videos. And we've been about the same, but we've changed slightly over time. So it's been kind of fun to see some new people come in, find the old videos, and check out the new stuff. So I folded the corner down, and I'll just trim a little of that tip off. And then I'll save it and send it to Giovanna because she likes little crumb bits. Ha ha ha, how's that? That is tiny. I can throw that away, right, Giovanna? Giovanna lets me tease her a little bit too. Ah, thanks, Steph. I appreciate it. So I'm going to put this here. I don't have any seams. So if I had a seam, I would go ahead and pretend sew just to make sure the seams aren't in the corners. And if one does come in the corner, I usually cut the fabric, shorten it, and then it moves it because I try. So I have plenty left over, even though I under-exaggerated. So I'm stitching it to the back, 1/4 inch. If I was using the double fold binding, I make that little pocket. I have a video for that. I also have a video on how to cut everything perfectly and make it seamless. I don't want to do that. That's too much like work. Right? I can throw that one away. Oh, wait. No, Giovanna, hold on. You have to yell at me still. Robin, don't throw that away. You can use it to stuff dog beds, cat beds, or pin cushions. The animal rescues here are just a little bit different than what I'm used to in Florida. I've had a little interaction with them, like when they stand outside. I saw them outside of Kohl's when I was doing an Amazon return. I have a lot of the quilting here, so I don't know why I want to feel like I need to start in a different spot, but I'm going to start right here. It's fine. He wouldn't take, I just wanted to give him, $5, $10, $15, $20, whatever cash I had in my wallet, I was going to donate it. No, he wanted me to get on a monthly plan and pay every month. And I said, can I just do a one-time donation? He's like, no, I'm sorry, I can't accept debit card, cash, or anything. And I can understand that. I'm like, can I go on the website then? He's like, yeah. I said, because if I get on a monthly plan, this is the reason you're doing it. I will forget that I have that monthly plan, and I won't figure it out for another 6 months or a year. Pin cushions. Yeah, I had a pin cushion like that, Giovanna. I didn't like it. I actually opened it up. Someone made it for me. I opened it up. I took all of the fabric and batting out and just put plain batting in it. I don't like the firmness of it. So I'm like, yeah, you guys are a bit more than I can handle. Okay, 1/4 inch seam, little back stitch. I need my ruler. I, again, can't judge distance exactly. I have an estimate, but I like to mark the exact 1/4 inch when I'm stitching so that I can stitch off the corner. And it makes my corners so much nicer just by saying, okay, I'm going to follow that rule. I'm going to pick and choose my rules. I'm not going to follow them all. But this one, it's helpful and it works for me. So I measure 1/4 inch when I get it a little bit close because, you know, the fabric does move. And then I just do a little line. It's a friction pen, so it's on the inside and it'll go away. So just enough so I can see it. And when I hit the line, then I spin it and I look for the corner. I stitch diagonally off the corner, cut my thread. Stuffed animals and dolls, I don't do that anymore. I don't do the crocheted ones or anything like that. So great ideas for other people, just not for me. So then I'll cut this thread here. I'll get the, well, I lost that thread. Okay. And then I can bring this up and it's going to automatically make that 45 as long as I line this up this way. I kind of look at this one to make sure. A little press, bring it back, line it up, and then I can go back under and stitch the next side. It just gives me that nice sharp corner. Some projects, some of my recent projects still, they'll get a little rounded corner for the binding, and I mean, it's fine and all, but I don't like it. So as long as it doesn't go, well, you know, here in Arizona, they just started using recyclables in, I think it was like, they started in February and they really, I don't even know if they're doing it very well right now. They don't accept a lot of it, just a basic. So we just do cardboard and cans. Florida had a pretty good recycling program, but people kept throwing the wrong stuff in, and then it contaminates everything. I can't see the line. And then they would just have to like junk the whole bin of stuff. So it's like, ugh. I try to stick mostly, I'm doing a lot of glass of my like leftovers and stuff like that. I'm not using like the Tupperware type containers. I don't have enough. I need some big ones. But I did purchase some of those silicone leftovers you put in the freezer. Like they have, there's like 3 or 4 compartments of 1 to 4 cups each. You just put your soup or your leftovers in it. And you can pop it in the freezer. And then you pop them out. And then, yeah, of course, you put them in plastic Ziploc baggies. But, you know, I'm doing what I can. I reuse my Ziploc baggies all the time. Crystal doesn't go in the glass. No, we don't have anything crystal, so we're good. I don't even know how good they are. We don't do glass stuff. Yeah, and no coat hangers, no silverware. Some places, like where Jody lives in the Seattle area, because it's a very artistic community area, like, they have, you can take like all these fabric scraps that I'm throwing away. I could take them to a fabric recycling place. You can recycle your old clothes, all of that stuff. We don't have that in a close enough area for me to do that. Yeah, they just started doing it when we were still in Florida. They were practicing. And since the garbage trucks would come by and dump the recycle bins into the garbage truck, people were like, well, we're not going to practice. Now you gave us 2 garbage bins, you know, the big ones at the curb. So they were just putting all their trash in it. We fill up, because they're, 96 gallons or something? S'mores didn't even eat. I just thought she wanted it. So they're like 96 gallon, at least they were in Florida, and they look about the same size. So we take the trash out every week. Most of the time it's half full, and the boys use a lot of paper plates and stuff. And the recyclables, I think I only take it out every 4 to 6 weeks because we don't go through that much. We're getting to that time of year, and my daughter's going to be done traveling, hopefully, you know, knock on wood, in January. So there's always water bottles and soda cans because they still do all that stuff. Yeah, Florida, Cape Coral, Florida, we did at Lee County for years and years. I mean, I was there since 82. I remember when we didn't have it. I remembered when we got it. S'moresy. Sorry. Stop it. I have a walking treadmill type thing. It's a little bit more than a walking pad, but a little less than a treadmill. And I have it covered with a towel so the cat fur doesn't get all on it and the cats don't like claw at it. S'mores is over there trying to take the towel off of it so she can claw at it. Oh, there's an ad. Yeah, we used to do the dumping stuff when we lived in New York. We had to take, no trash was picked up at the house at all. Back in Cape Coral, I know we pay it here, it's part of our rent, but back in Cape Coral, we paid a lot on our taxes for it. This rental agency puts everything onto the rent. They put, I don't agree with it, and I don't know how legal it is. I imagine it must be somehow, but they put property taxes and they incorporate it into your month. Like, so you have, let's say you pay, we'll make up a number, $1,000 a month for rent because you're not going to find anything here for that price. So you pay $1,000 a month for rent, and then they divide the property taxes by 12. They tack that on. The water stays in their name, so then they put the water bill on. And I don't know, in Florida, the trash and recyclables was on your property taxes. So then they would take that and they would tack that on and stuff. It's just crazy. Huh, interesting. Yes, New York. I saw some New York vlogs where people were doing that. I think it's really great. I think it's really great when you can take your fabric to one of those fabric recycling, soft recycles or whatever they call it. Now they do have in the Phoenix area, I think it's on the other side of Phoenix from me, they have that one craft place where you can like donate like broken crayons and all kinds of things or 3 buttons, and then you can go there and buy the random stuff. I just haven't made it there yet. The only time I go to Phoenix, like I'll have to go twice this month because my daughter's coming home for Thanksgiving and then leaving afterwards. So I'll have to pick her up and take her to the airport. And then again in December. I don't think I made it all the way 1/4 of an inch this time. Let me make sure this is even. So in December, I'll have to take her to the airport and pick her back up. And then the last one in January. So that'll be nice. I'm sure she'll be happy to be done traveling. She's been staying in an Airbnb because she's working as a general manager in Iowa right now, fixing a trouble store. So she's been enjoying the Airbnb, except like the last one she had prior to the one she's in now, it was a 2-story and it didn't have a washer and dryer. And the AC upstairs didn't work, and the guys just like, the owners are like, just open the window, it'll be fine. And she's like, Mom, it's already 90 something here, and they want me to just open a window. I can't sleep. So she slept downstairs where that air conditioner worked. I'm like, yeah, it's just you, sleep on the couch. All right, so I overlapped, and then I have that bit left over. So I have enough here. I'm gonna take this and turn it into a fabric postcard. So there's plenty to do it, and I might have to add a little extra. So I have to trim all of the threads from the corners because otherwise they find a way of sneaking out. So I put everything this way, trim anything that's just shredding off. Because I cut my thread and restart on every corner. Flip it over, and there's always thread that gets tangled up here in the corner when I restart. So I just make sure it's not too messy. This is from the tag. Murphy's Law. You know, if those threads are going to show, they're going to pop up afterwards and be super annoying. So just take the time. Either take the time now when it's easy to do, or take the time later when it's super frustrating. Probably shouldn't have done that, but I've got, see how dirty I have thread all over here? I can fix it. Ta-da! I'll clean it later. Well, I think my stomach might just be hungry. Maybe that's what its problem is. So we've been doing the Saturdays at 11 for a while, and I don't want to keep changing things up, but I knew I wanted to try this out and see if it still works for everyone. So maybe next year we'll have a conversation. Do we need to change it in the winter and the summer? Do we want to change it during the daytime, during the week or something? Or do we want to keep on Saturdays? Since I'm over on the other coast now, the time zones are different, so do we need to change it up in any other way? We'll have that conversation at some point, but just so you have it in your thoughts. Yeah, Giovanna, I don't even think I did food prep recently, but I think I only prepped for a week. I don't know if I have any food for this weekend. Always have peanut butter and jelly or peanut butter and fluff sandwiches. All right, so there's that. I tried it without glue, but I really just like the glue. And I need some clips for the corners. Let's do green clips because we're doing green fabrics. So there's my beginning. I'll start at this end. My son makes a dump run once a quarter, so if he doesn't have a full load, he will take some, oh, that's nice, yeah. But he's got like kids and everything, so he probably fills up pretty good most of the time. I don't know if we have a dump here. I would imagine we might have one somewhere. I mean, someone has to have a dump. I just don't know if we have a dump that people can go to. If we do, it's not in the general area because we've only been in the, oh, I was supposed to press this first. Darn it. We're in the city type thing. I haven't been to the outskirts. We're on one outskirt. I haven't been to the other. So I'm going to find out we're on the edge of the city. All right, I'm just going to do this one. I would like to blame it on the fact that I'm talking to you guys, but I can mess up all on my own on this one. I've done it before. All right. So I fold this down so that it matches with the edge if you remember the video or you've done it before. Ooh, hot. I tried pre-folding it. Pat Sloan likes to pre-fold her single fold binding. She goes and presses down about 1/4 of an inch. But mine, I think it's more than 1/4 of an inch. Come here, ruler. Mine is, really? Is that what that is? Yeah, I fold mine about 1/2 inch. But it's so much easier for me to just do this than it is to try to fold the whole length. And I can never eyeball it and fold it even. So I did a lot of practicing with my patrons on getting it all to be nice and even. So I just do it this way. I can blame it on you? You have big shoulders? Can I blame my itchy nose on you? Well, I would tell you, what is it now? Oh, it's 75 in the room. I am really grateful. I was cold this morning, so I put a long sleeve shirt on, but then just before the stream, I'm like, I usually get hot during the stream, and it's starting to warm up a little bit. I'm glad I took my long sleeve shirt off because I'm hot. Oh, I'm empty. I have no water for steam. Let's do that. So is anyone having anything good? We're coming up soup weather. I made macaroni and cheese and I put it in the freezer, the leftovers, even though I knew I was going to eat it the next couple days because I just wanted to see how well it froze. It froze beautifully. And when I was thawing it out, I'd add a little milk in it to keep it nice and creamy. And one time I added a little too much milk because I had small portions, so I wanted to have a full-size portion instead of a half. And I ended up making macaroni and cheese soup, and let me tell you, I'm going to do that on purpose because it was delicious. Now, I heard that there's a macaroni and cheese soup, but I always thought, well, that's weird. It cut back on the extra, because I use vegan cheese, so it's dairy-free. Plant-based is the word now. So I use that, and it's fine. It's a good cheese and everything, but it just made it the macaroni and cheese soup. It wasn't soupy. It was just kind of liquidy, and yes, you could spoon out the liquid cheese at the end, but it was just so good. I was so surprised. I think now that since it freezes well, I'll go ahead and make up a whole like pound of the macaroni part and make a big batch. Now I don't have any glue in the corners, but I like to make sure the fabric is tucked in nice. Just hold it down with my little clips here, and it's good. Yeah, 75. It's 74.8 in the room. I have the window open. The AC hasn't kicked on for the house yet, so that's nice. And the thermostat's right outside my door, but I have my doors closed. And I have the guards on the bottom, so my fresh air doesn't really affect the AC much. It usually, the last couple days, has been kicking on around 1, 2 o'clock when the sun's just really up above. So my cats they really love the fall, so they can look out the window and smell the fresh air and all of that. Oh yeah, I was thinking about that too, because my daughter gets a free turkey for work, and she wanted to know, since her boss comes, he's traveling too. She's like, he wants to know if I want the turkey right away. I'm just trying to get this corner to look nice. You know, do I need the turkey, what week? He comes home every weekend, pick a weekend, and he'll get me the turkey. I'm like, that's fine. He can bring it, wait till she comes home for Thanksgiving, because I usually do 2 turkeys. Because when they're on sale like that, I like to freeze them and make bone broth and chicken pot pie or turkey pot pie, whatever you want to call it. I make a lot of stuff with it. So, but then I was thinking, oh, I need to have room for 2 turkeys or a turkey and the leftovers of another turkey. I'm like, oh my goodness. My kids have a deep freeze, but I try not to use it because it's small. You're going to have sausage and egg casserole, melted cheese on top. That sounds good. You had sushi. I don't do sushi unless it's the kind that's not raw fish kind. Just not my thing. Though they have some really fun tools that you can buy on, oh, I don't want red thread, on Amazon to make sushi rolls and stuff. I think I want to get that because I just like the idea of like the rice and the vegetables, like an egg roll, but in a sushi format type thing. So I'd like to try that. All right, red thread. Red bobbin, close the glue. The bobbin winder at the top of my machine, whenever I take out the white thread, I like to put it back up there. I don't know if I want to use white thread though. I probably should change it to an aqua color, shouldn't I? All right, back to the Missouri Star thread bin. Let me see what I have in here. I mean, I could do white, right? But if we worked hard this far and we made it really nice and everything, then maybe I shouldn't do white on it, I have the fish and get only once a month. Yeah. So my kids love sushi. I think they all do sushi. So I have this pail. I think this is the one. Yeah, do I have? Oh no. All right, guys, we're going to have to make noise. This is the perfect color, but I don't have a bobbin because I used the end of it up when I was doing something the other day. And I thought, oh, I'll just put a bobbin. I'll make a bobbin later. I really need to go through and bobbin everything up. No. Look, we can cheat. What is this one? Will this one work? It's a pale blue. It's a different shade and all. No, that looks just like white. All right, we're going to bobbin. This just means we're going to make noise and take a little bit more time. But it is gorgeous. I can feel the outside air blowing through with a little breeze. It really is beautiful. Wait 1 second. Robbie George? Oh, you're in the bathroom. My daughter, we have a fire pit now that she got from a friend. And Robbie was talking about getting marshmallow sticks. Is that him now? Robbie George? Real quick note, your sister bought you extendable marshmallow sticks or whatever for the fire. I know you're not going to buy any today, but just in case, I want to let you know. That, and I have an Amazon order coming sooner or later.
This is my super quick thing. If you're gonna
I'm on live, so you better make it super quick.
These are my new flavors.
Oh, I like the containers.
Storm and Tropical Baja Splash.
Sounds good. The boys know I like to see whatever when they buy stuff like foods and drinks and stuff like that, so they're always showing me something. I just like to warn them that I'm on a live stream. We will bobbin. You're going to bobbin with me one way or the other, Giovanna. Turn the sound down if it's too loud, but I don't think it's too bad. I still have a Sidewinder. Robbie bought me this when he was 8 years old as a Christmas gift, and he's 25 and some, 25 and a half-ish now. So that shows you how long ago it was, and it still works. It got a little off kilter. There's a little springy thing over here once. I fixed it. They were $25 then, and they're still $25 now. But I really like it because I haven't figured out how to do it on my machine. I always get wobbly bobbins. They're always uneven. So I end up taking it off of there. Look, I'm just trying to get it through the hole, okay? There we go. So I don't know what the deal is. And I haven't paid much attention to it because so far, knock on wood, I haven't had to. What is it, like a California roll? That's not that. I love egg rolls, and I'd like to just, an egg roll as a sushi roll with the rice and the and the veggies and all that. His birthday's in April. Yeah, his name is Robert George, but he's always been Robbie, but it's Robert. He's Robert George III, because his father was also Robert George. He was Robbie when he was little, but then he became Robert. So now he's, the Robert the first, Robert Jr., his father, they both passed away, so now he's just Robert alone. He no longer has, he doesn't have to legally do the third part anymore, unless he's doing important documents, because there's no one to distinguish him from other people. Oh, I don't know why I did that, because, they're all gone. See, that wasn't too loud. That wasn't bad. Yeah, my father was Robert, and they called him Bobby, and I don't know. Bobby's just like Bob, and Bobby's a different person. Plus, it was my father. So we just I liked the name Robbie. So even when my husband was, 50, his nieces and nephews still called him like Uncle Robbie and stuff, because that's all they really knew. You have one of these? I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Oh, he does have a nice voice, doesn't he? He always he's like, hey, anytime you're live, I'll just come in and say hi to everyone. I'm like, that's nice. He likes to come in, he tells me stories, things he's watched, because he does different things online than I do. He's a gamer, and he likes it used to be UFO, now it's UAV or something like that. So he's into all that stuff, and he does, he's a dungeon master for Dungeons and Dragons or whatever it is. I don't know. Yeah, so you just pop off to Junior now, huh? Yeah, it's just how it ends up being, unfortunately. Yeah, he's got a really nice voice. It's kind of fun because while all of us are about the same, because, they're my kids, I raised them, at the same time, as you would expect, we're all a little bit different too. So when we all get together and do stuff, it's kind of fun. And it's been, you guys are, some of you are like, I can't believe you live with your kids. But you know what? With my kids, I think I went 2 days without seeing Robbie. And I'll go a whole day or two without seeing Justin. And we're all in the house together. I love my bobbin winder, June. I love it, love it. Oh, Terry, you missed my son. I said Robbie George because whenever I call his name, I always do Robbie George. He, you know, he's used to hearing that. So I changed my foot. This is an edge foot, so it has that little bar underneath here that I like to ride right along the edge of the binding. So it just makes it all stay in line a little bit better. All right, so I have to put thread on. Bobbins in, threads on. Hello, Denise. How are you doing? Whoops. I opened the door because my daughter ordered, her friend is the one that gave us, he had a fire pit, or he moved into the house here, and he's at the other side of Surprise, and they had a fire pit and the house came with one, or the house came with two. So he gave my daughter Miranda or Mandy one, and Robbie's been testing it out because it just came a few weeks ago, now that it's getting cool enough to be outside. So he sits out there and he does his thing and he enjoys, because we all used to do fire pits all the time. So he really just enjoys sitting out there and hanging out by himself, doing his thing. And he said it would be great if he wanted to cook like hot dogs or something on it if we had them. And there, a lot of the things we just didn't bring from Florida to here. I had Dollar Tree ones, so I didn't bring them. And if the kids have any, I couldn't find them because I haven't finished unpacking everything. So it could be in a mystery box with miscellaneous stuff. So my daughter just went ahead and ordered some because she knew she would want it too. All right. So put it down. I like to bring my needle over. I think, is one enough? Yeah, one should be good. And I think I'll put my stitch length up to 2.4 would be nice. I would wind it on the machine, Giovanna, just so I wouldn't have to turn around behind me and get everything out of the drawer. But they're wobbly and they're wonky and they only have half as much bobbin thread on it. I don't know how I could be doing anything wrong. There's a little thread guide right up here and you push the button and off you go. So I'm gonna have to get the manual out and maybe watch a video or something on how to do it on your machine. It seems so silly, but since I've never really used it on my machine, I just don't know and I don't have any practice. I have got a long thread that time. All right, into the thread bucket. I am saving all my thread, Giovanna. I like squishing it down, and then it has this nice little compactness in there. So I can see when I'm sewing with all the different colors. And it also helps to keep the long bits in here so they don't go in my cat's intestines. And then I have a lid for it. This is just one of these little Dollar Tree containers. It's actually cracked somewhere, I think. So I couldn't use it in, you know, like for rice and stuff, so I just put it in here. My girls are pretty good. They don't mess with it. I've seen some projects where you kind of like free motion quilt all over it. So yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards. All right, so here we go. I am just going to stitch to the corner. And I like to take 2 to 3 stitches past the corner, make sure everything stays flat. Then I backstitch. And then when I spin it around, go ahead and I backstitch another 2 or 3 times. So I have kind of like a little bit of a plus, and I just feel like it makes me feel better, like it's going to hold the mitered corner down a little bit or something. I don't know if it does. I've seen other people do it too when I've like zoomed in on Instagram. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? That's okay. Forgot to sew down the snowman. You guys didn't notice. Did anyone notice? There's got to be, right? You're making thread ball animals? That's interesting. I have thought about making some from yarn, wool balls for the dryer, but not from this. So how many people raise your hand? Nope, you didn't notice? Yeah. I just happened to get over here and I'm like, hey, he's not sewn down. But since I'm sewing all the way through, it doesn't really matter. And now I can use this blue to sew down his scarf. You could sew like the snowman down, then add the scarf, so you don't have to worry about thread anywhere, but I'm not going to do that either, obviously. You recycle everything? I recycle more than some and less than others. I'm really good at recycling packaging, though. That's an easy one. Oh, come on, stay down where you belong. Of course, there's a big red flower here in the corner, so that will show up nicely with the thread. My binding sometimes is beautiful, and other times I get a little wave or a curve here or there. And it's just, it is what it is. It's one of those things really, like, even you guys look and you don't always see my mistakes, so, you know, you just don't worry about them. It happens, it happens. It happens to a lot of us. I've seen some people who do competitions and get judged, and I'm like, oh, I see that mistake. And it's like, hey, they won a big grand jury thing or whatever, a big competition, and they still have oopsies. It happens. All right, that's it. Let's put these away. Let's move my foot over here so we don't lose it. Oh, I gotta sew it down still. See, I forgot already. Oh, an embroidery sewing machine. Yeah, that would be fun. My Disney was embroidery and sewing, but it only had a little small bit. I thought if I were to ever do that, I'd get the big one. I like a lot of those in the hoop projects and stuff. Those would be really fun to do. Perfect? No, I like it a little close to the edge. And then it keeps it here. But I moved the needle over because I don't want it to go ka-clunk on the binding. Sometimes it gets on there. Sometimes it doesn't. But you can see, come on, where it goes. I backstitch a little. It's not perfect. It's not even. I bit my cheek. Ooh, I'm going to have to move my tag out of the way so I don't snowman through it. Just pull my tag to the outside because it's kind of close in some of those areas. Yeah, certain scraps I'm going to keep no matter what the size is, and it's great. Yeah, no, it's again, I kind of like show things so that like it looks great. When you look at it, hey, it looks perfect. If you're going to get really up close and nitpick it, you're probably going to find something. But if you're beginner and this happens to you, because it takes a little bit as a beginner to understand that stuff happens, and if it's not perfect, it's okay. So if you have a little blip somewhere, or your binding's got a little extra, or your little, like this corner here is not sharp, it's got a little round to it, and that's got, I can see right here there's extra fabric, which is what made that happen. It happens, but you know what? Nobody's gonna really know unless you tell them. I'm just kind of throwing them on there and forgetting about them. That's my direction. Sometimes I don't remember until I go to take a picture for the shop or I do the Whip It Wednesday video. I'm that good. Oh, you know what foot I need in here now? I'm going to put this over here so I don't forget it. I like the open toe foot, so it has this big open space. It's great for doing applique. Yeah, some scraps like tulip ink are in their own little container. I'll put them like in a Ziploc baggie or something, because if you guys send me something like your scraps in a Ziploc baggie, I save the baggie and I use it for my own scraps. I usually don't go out and buy a baggie thingy situation to, you know, do scraps and stuff, but I'm going to put my stitch length to 2.2, my needles in the center, and I'm going to pick a straight long enough spot, like right down through here on his scarf. I'll start stitching there, And I'm just going to, well, let's just call it top stitching. About 1/8 to 1/4. And I'll just top stitch it all down. I'll just start and kind of back stitch to do the Santa head. I'll probably lift his nose up to do underneath and then do the orange on top. I could do white or blue everywhere. You can just do maybe black thread or something. But I'll go through and change them all out. We'll do it. So we're here for a couple extra minutes. We'll be fine. I just take it slow. Sometimes if I'm doing a lot, I will slow the machine down just so that my foot doesn't get excited and hit the gas pedal and go too fast. I like to go pedal to the metal as fast as can. Well, I'm so glad you can hang out with us, Steph. I don't want to be the person that corrects anyone. I have an ad. Hold on. See, look, we're got, oh, this Arizona lady. She's gotten caught in so many lies. I don't know what to believe about her. I don't know the politicians and stuff here. Look, we're getting 2 ads. There we go. Come on. Okay, so this is actually a mug rug. It's pretty similar to a fabric postcard. It's a little bit larger. People like to put their cup of tea or coffee on it and have a little snack. I like to just hang them up on the wall and decorate with them. I unfortunately throw them away. I don't know what else to do with them. Some of the grocery shopping bags, I've seen a lot of people, like, you can iron them and it creates like a fabric type situation, and you can make like wallets or mats for the homeless to put underneath their sleeping bags and stuff. I'm not quite that far. And I know a lot of people want to have, like, they won't buy from me because I use the poly bags. But it's been proven a few different times now that my poly bags, you know, knock on wood, I have a good, nice wood table here, that it's saved some of people's orders because the bag has got torn and water's gotten inside of it, or it's just gotten a mess, and the product has survived, thank goodness. So if I were to use cardboard, paper, whatever, it just doesn't protect the stuff. I'd like to be totally save the earth and everything, but sometimes if they don't have a product that's going to do what I need. I was just scrolling around. I was on Threads. I was on Instagram that sends you to Threads, and people were talking this year, to be totally random but still on topic. M&Ms have changed their packaging for their little mini M&Ms for Halloween. They used to be that plasticky material. Now they're more biodegradable, and they're kind of this papery stuff like they used to be years ago. I know, I just didn't want to correct you, Steph, but I just wanted you to kind of know what we were making, because we make postcards all the time. But do you remember how the little M&Ms used to be kind of like in a paper envelope before it went to that plasticky kind? Well, it rained in the Seattle area, and everyone was talking about how their kids' Halloween bags, they got rain inside the bags, and the bags themselves got wet and stuff. The paper on the M&Ms disintegrated, and all the colors, you know, M&Ms melt in your hands. I don't care what they say. All the colors from the M&Ms got all over all the candy and everything. They said the bags just disintegrated. It was crazy. No, I haven't, Giovanna. Is it good? I don't even think I've heard of it. All right. There is the snowman scarf. We'll just take that off. Now, I learned you don't want to waste the thread, but it's better to cut it at the spool and to pull the thread out this way. And I will end up, that's why I have such long bits in my thread container, because if you pull it backwards, the thread's going the wrong way. It's like pulling a fishing hook out or something, and all the fibers go into your machine and you can get pieces stuck in there. So I listen to that rule because that's what it says. Oh, they do recycling stuff. I like to watch some of the kids in like high school, and they do the fashion shows for class and stuff, and they have to Like they make dresses out of different things and stuff like that. I was just trying to decide if I want to do orange and white or just orange. You know, does it really matter? Do I need to change it this many times? Okay, so I will, because I only need to do a little bit. I'll just take 2 bobbins of orange. I'll put one at the bottom and one at the top. I don't mind that there's orange thread on the back because I think that's fun when I'm doing it for the snowman versus the quilting. But instead of having to get the whole spool out and figure out which one matches or whatnot, I'm just going to do the 2 oranges. I loved this technique. I was so happy when I learned it online years ago. Great way to finish off small amounts of bobbins. You put a full one at the bottom and you put all your partials at the top, and you can just use them up. Because you can see when you're going to run out versus it's getting stuck on some interfacing I have here. So you can see when the top bobbin runs out instead of sewing with air and stuff like that. I just think it's the greatest technique. I know, I used to do it all the time too. And it's not like it's it's not horrible, but it does put more lint in your machine, and depending on how linty your thread is, what the quality is and stuff, it builds up in there and it gives you more to clean. Oh, well, whatever, I'm not going to do it now. I was going to do the white first so that I can move the nose. I can still do it this way, it's fine. It's personal preference. It's just one of those things that I've heard it all my life about sewing life and time, that you shouldn't do it. And I thought, since I have a very nice machine, that I'm going to treat it a little different than a $99 machine. And if I treat my machine nice, it'll treat me nice, hopefully. Right, sweetie pie? Oh, such a good girl. Yeah, talk nice to your machine. I don't name my machine, though. All of my things are nameless, including my car. But I'm like, I can do that. I am willing to do that little bit. Plus, then I'll just have more colorful thread in my container to do other things with. There aren't too many hard and fast rules, right, Giovanna? It's all kind of like, you make a decision and you do the best you can with the tools you have on hand, is what Grandma always said. And you find your way. So I do like these bobbin boats. It actually says bobbin boat. I have 3 of them, so I don't have them like fully separated, like one per color. I like the idea, like all of my Missouri Star are here. So if I want to match an orange, I know the orange in here matches the orange here. I don't have to look in 4 different places. So I like that. I would like to have one for each color. Like I might have 4 different purples, but all my purples are in one spot. I could see how valuable these would be, though, if you do a lot of hand sewing. They still get crazy, depending on where the end of your thread is, so they're still kind of messy, but they hold them in really nice. So I like those little silicone thingies. So now I need, are we on white now? Yep, so we just need white. Now this one is Connecting Threads, the Essential line. I do have white in here when Missouri Star sent it to us during Halloween time, I think it was. I have a big room, but everything is still, because it's my bedroom also, everything is really nice and close, so I don't have to go very far for it, which is really nice. I get tons of dust from the thread in this part of the machine, but when you thread your thread, it kind of knocks it out. It's really nice. Random conversation while I'm threading my machine again. So this is it. I just have to do around the snowman's face, and he is done. The scarf matches, that thread matches so beautifully to that fabric. It's like it was meant to be. All right, we good on comments? Your Maria cost you over 500 euros 37 years ago. Well, that's great. That means you take really good care of it. I hope it lasts you another 37 years. All right, so I will do here. Am I in a good spot? Yep. Now, because nothing's crossing over, I will, come on, bobbin. I will have to backstitch in a couple places. So go forward and then go back. Now the carrot and the scarf are holding the snowman down, so I don't have to do too much. Get up to his nose, backstitch. I'll pull the thread out a little. Make sure the bobbin's out of the way and behind. And start again. No big deal, I just have some starts and stops. And my iron just fell asleep. It's so tired. It's worked so hard today. So remember, if you're getting ready to do a mass amount of Christmas sewing for gifts and decorations, give your machine a good clean, change out your needle, put a new rotary blade in, but remember, it's really sharp. So if you've been using a dull one for a while, it's like a dull knife. You tend to press down a little bit more on it. Dun, 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 dun. So I just have to trim off those little bits where I crossed over on his nose. Not a big deal. If I really look at it, I mean, I don't have that great of eyesight even with my glasses on, so it's not that noticeable. Kind of see it from the back a little bit more if I backstitch, but people expect you to do those things, and who's going to really get their face down there and look at it, right? If they're down there, just give them a little smack, tell them knock it off. All right, I'm not going to do the eyes and the mouth while you guys are here because I need to silence all the voices in my head so I can make him have nice eyeballs. I might look and see if I have some small buttons. I could put some buttons on it because it'll still keep him nice and thin for shipping. 30 of them. Wow. Your sewing machine's going to be cranking them out and going zoom, super fast. And then here is the back. This part, because it has the fusible fleece and everything in it, it's a little bit stiff there. But we'll just say it's better to catch all the drips from your coffee. Whoa, look at him sliding all over. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I would keep you a little longer and we could make a fabric postcard, but it's already 1:30 and I've gone from not hungry to hungry and not hungry again. So I need to at least put a snack in my belly until dinner time. Sometimes if I wait too long, I go past the hungry part, and then I don't eat for hours and hours, and I end up with either an upset stomach or I figure out I've only eaten 800 calories in a day. So my body goes into starvation mode. So I want to take care of it. Try to get on that little eat 6 small meals and eat every 3-4 hours or whatever. So there's my snowman. He will be going in the shop at some point, unless you call dibs on him. And then I could just take a picture and just give it the basic calculations. Otherwise, I have to take a picture, I have to take a video, do all the measurements and everything like that. Let's see, where are we at? You're making tablecloths, using the serger. That makes it a lot quicker. It's 4:30, yep, because you guys... Now, daylight savings time is tonight for most places here in the U.S. I know a lot of you guys internationally have already changed. Now, remember, I'm not changing. Right now, I'm on Pacific California time. I think with daylight savings, I'll go back to mountain time. I know I live in the mountain time zone. I just don't know if it's ever mountain time here. I didn't pay that much attention when we first moved here. My nose definitely would have went over my label. It would have held my label down. It might have been cute that way. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. No, it doesn't. I'm still adjusting to it. It is a little weird to... It gets dark early here, so it gets dark at 6:30. And in the summer, it gets dark at 6:30 or 7 or whatever. It might be a little bit later, but still, depending on where the sun is in the mountains, it's just kind of weird that it doesn't stay daylight till like 9:30 at night, like we used to have in Florida, because there was nothing to stop the sun because, you know, there was no mountains. I really loved how it came out. So if you guys ever see something like this at a thrift store or at a crafting table at your quilt guild and stuff, it might be worth it. They're fun little projects just to do on a rainy day. I like these, and I like the ones that have the pre-fused applique pieces. They make really great projects. You have to provide everything else, but really you just throw a white fabric down and put it on and you're good to go. I have a few more of those to do. So we're going to be live again on the 16th. And we have 5 Saturdays in this month, so that gives me a little extra time. When we get closer to December, I'll tell you some of the new things coming up, but I'll go ahead and I'll figure out the shop sale. We'll either do it somewhere this week or probably the week of the 11th, which is Veterans Day. We'll figure something out. But these kits are really nice. Now, I don't know. This is a really good box. I might just take this label off. This would be, I mean, I can't push on it. It's corrugated. It's that sturdy. This would be great for shipping things or wrapping up a present or something like that. So Advent series is coming up at the beginning of December. On Saturday the 30th, I will put up a video and I'll do my normal. This is what the Advent is. This is what my friend and I do. And then there'll be an Advent. I'm going to stick with 7 p.m. my time. And then every day you'll have a 3 to 8 minute video. Sometimes they're real short. I don't have much to say. Like in the Advent box today is a bottle of glue. You guys know what glue is, right? I don't have to explain what glue is. So that's a really short conversation. Or it might be, hey, I made this kit and this is the pattern that I made thinking you to make this, but you can make a lot of different things. Look at all the fabric I put in it. So some videos are going to be short and other ones will be a little bit longer. I really appreciate everyone that purchased that Advent. I'm really kind of nervous and excited to hear what everyone says. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and for all of you on the replay. We need to have another pillow pattern coming up soon. I don't have any tutorials scheduled for November, so I have no idea what we're doing this month, so it'll be a fun surprise. I'm going to try to stick with things that you can make as gifts, whether they're quick or short. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really love the way that guy turned out. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. And we'll all be thinking about you, Becky. I hope you have an easy surgery for your hip replacement on Tuesday. I'm going to stop.